You taught me well.
Oh my god. I got it. Hello there, gaming loving peeps. Welcome back to my channel. I'm at it again like a crazy person. I've been playing some of the best From Software and Souls-like games on the market, and I have to tell you, it's been a very interesting year. Happy New Year, everyone. So, two games I compared their party system and which one was the easiest to actually learn and use throughout the game, and you guessed it, Lies of P and Sekiro. Those were the two that I compared, and I'm going to compare them again. Now, just because I deem Sekiro as being the easiest party system to learn, their deflection system, doesn't mean that Sekiro, the game itself, is the easiest game to play, because it's not. Now, is Lies of P the easiest Souls-like game to play? And I am going to have to give my straight up answer. Yes. It is the easiest game to play and beat and enjoy. Well, in terms to my opinion, this is very much subjective, but I'm going to give you a straight up answer to this. I was more exhausted playing Sekiro than I do when I play Lies of P. Lies of P is my bread and butter. I'm like, even though the bosses in this game can be grueling, but if you have the right resources, which Lies of P, like Souls games, like Demon Souls, I can't say Dark Souls, but from what I've seen, they offer so many different options for you to actually progress in the game and eventually prevail on beating the game, because those types of games run on a stat leveling system where Sekiro, you're just filling up a skill tree basically, but you have to get by 100% of the time with learning deflection. Lies of P, there's so many other things available to you that can make the game either difficult or extremely easy. There is an easy mode, but it's not a button. It's really what they offer you in resources and all other things to help you get by in the game. And I'm going to tell you all of those things that make Lies of P the easiest game to play. And it's probably one of the most best entry-level game, I'm going to have to say. But like I said, this is only my opinion, because a lot of people that came from Elden Ring and entered into Lies of P and even played Bloodborne and even tried Sekiro did not like it at all, because, like it or not, they all play differently, of course, because there is so much less options in Sekiro. That's why from the FromSoft titles, this one is deemed the hardest game and the number 2 second hardest game that people have labeled as is Bloodborne. And that I can agree with, because I've played Bloodborne. It was my entry level. And Sekiro, I agree it is, because it gave me a headache. Now, I'm trying to not be so mean on Sekiro, because it is a good game for those who are willing to pursue it. A lot of the times you're going to be doing a lot of stealth in this game, because as a shinobi, that's the exact premise of it. You are getting by pretty much trying to be unseen as much as possible, like a spy that you're supposed to be. And really, it relies mostly on that mechanic, on being a little bit more strategic in your movements and getting around. And because, you know, this runs on the same premise of respawning enemies in the same spot, eventually you're going to just learn where every enemy in this game is. It's the same with Lies of P. You're going to learn where every enemy is, and you're going to feel a lot more confident on, you know, fighting those enemies or even avoiding those enemies. But in Sekiro, it's very easy to do a lot of stealth attacks and get around pretty much like that most of the time until you face a main boss. But some of these elite bosses, you can get a death blow on them on the first shot, because really they have 2 health bars you got to go through, and of course the time you reach that last health bar, you can learn your parry, attack and deflect, and basically build up their posture bar so you can do an official death blow, which is the best part of this game if you can manage to learn it. Of course, there's other things to Sekiro that makes it difficult to kind of comprehend, but at least they offer this. And in terms of, you know, flaring up, the grab attacks, it's a red mark that flashes on your screen, and you know they're gonna do an attack on you that either you can't avoid and you have to dodge or jump, or it could be a certain attack where you can eventually, when you upgrade your skill tree in here, you'll be able to do like a Mercury counter, which will build up their posture bar heavily, because that's the whole point. Not only you're attacking, but you're also deflecting to be able to build up their posture bar so they could actually, you know, wear down into a stun lock and you can do a death blow on them. And that's the difficult part of this game, because if they do grab you, they do hefty attacks, but when you land that death blow, it's amazing. Now, why is Lies of P easier than Sekiro? Even though Sekiro offers a prosthetic arm that you can get a bunch of different types as you move along, Lies of P, you get a Legion arm, and they give you a minimal amount, but just 2 of them I was able to get by in this game. The first, the puppet string in the beginning, OMG, it will drag that puppet to you and you can kill them pretty easily with that. Another thing that makes Lies of P easy is the throwables. There's quite a bit of them that you can actually gather up. And like in this one with the little watchman, I just spammed a heck of a ton of, like, you know, electrical throwables at him, and it ate at his health bar like no other. And I just kept going around him, spamming it like crazy. And people have done this with main bosses, which is insane when you think about it. That is the option availability with this game. Speaking of elemental over here, when you certain weapons in this game, when you upgrade advance in this stat, it will do heck of a damage on certain enemies in this game. As you can see, I'm holding a very unique weapon here. That thing actually does electrical damages on puppets. This is what you call kind of like the easy mode of Lies of P, is understanding which weapon can do the most damage on certain enemies in this game. And once I learned that, I was able to get by like no other. And of course, there's another thing I want to point out in this thing, and I hope you guys catched it. I had 0 blitz, okay? That's the health in this thing. Just by being aggressive with no blitz, that thing was able to fill up and give me at least 1. That is the blessing of this game. Speaking of certain enemies, all of the human enemies, which are the stalkers, you can circle around them and do a backstab. Literally, you just go behind them and just continue doing a backstab until their health bar goes down to 0. It's funny when you're able to get that many backstabs on a boss. This is a boss, and I was able to do that. Now, the most beautiful thing that helps Lies of P become a lot easier is the fact that for a main boss, you can summon a specter to basically distract the boss for you. Now, people would say, no, it does a whole lot of damage. No, the Spectre barely does any damage on the boss. It's mostly me, majority of the time, doing the main damage for it. And plus, I'm the only one that can actually do the fatal attacks on him. So, the Spectre, he does chip damage on this boss. It doesn't do much, so that's why I just don't see it as a reason to not use it, because it's not overpowered. Actually, even in the demo, the Spectre barely did any damage and everything. So, but it's only the main boss that you can use a Spectre. The other smaller mini bosses you can't, and you can use that as an opportunity to learn Perfect Guard and Guard, because Guard on here, when you learn to use that properly, just like in Bloodborne, the rally system, over here it's called Guard Regain. So that means you have a chance to get back your health by attacking. That's the aggressive system in this game, which is nice. But that's a resource that they give to you in this game, is to be able to summon a Spectre so you can continue to progress the game and move forward, level up, and enjoy the overall experience of this game. This makes it so much easier and enjoyable. You don't get that from Sekiro. I just realized I beat the Scrap Watchman on a level 25 with the Spectre, which is pretty good for me. I've been preparing for a race with my teammates on playing this game. Who knows, we might end up doing it next year. I have a whole different approach when it comes to Lies of P, since, like I said before, it is like my bread and butter. I know the ins and outs of this game. That's why I confidently say that it is a very easy game when you understand the mechanics of it. Like, you understand that, you know, with Guard, there's a chance to gain Guard Regain. You can get your health back by being aggressive. Not only that, like I mentioned before, even if you have 0 blitz to be able to bring up your health again, you have it actually, when you fight in this game, it will fill back up and give you at least 1 blitz to get you by. That 1 blitz can actually help you win against a boss fight if you need to, or to get to the next checkpoint of this game. That's why I said it's just, there's so much to offer to make the game a lot more easier. The hardest difficulty with Lies of P is basically learning Perfect Guard, basically using Guard Regain as your main thing, and dodging and learning the boss movesets. When you, I hear a lot of people complain that the bosses, they sometimes randomize their movesets. That's the whole point. And at least it's not so often that it does it, because there are some games where they do random attacks, and it's very difficult to kind of like anticipate it. But with at least Lies of P, because there's so many different options to fight a boss, like using the Spectre to be able to distract the main boss, to use throwables that can actually take down their health significantly, especially if you level certain things in your stats properly, it will bring the health bar of an enemy down using those certain things. So Lies of P is very, very friendly for new gamers, depending on how you approach it. And because it's so linear, and it's kind of like that progression-based game where you have to beat these bosses to move forward, it actually, you can beat this game pretty quickly. Just like Sekiro, you can speed through that game pretty fast, but your first playthrough, you don't want to do that. There's not going to be any second playthrough with me in Sekiro. I still didn't even beat that game. Once I met the Sword Saint, I was like, you know what? I think I'm done. I'm exhausted. I am no spring bird anymore. Either way, I'm looking forward to the Lies of P DLC next year. It's going to be within the first quarter from what I've read, and that's what I'm looking forward to. Happy New Year, everyone. It's going to be 2025 very soon, and I hope you all have a very good New Year's. Thank you.